Everfree Guardian, Chapter 8, Part 3.
Ah, there is my knight in shining armor. My hero, my savior. I simply cannot owe you enough, my dear human.
Nate rose an eyebrow as he had the barrel of his gun trailed on the Lord of Chaos. Me.
Oh, you don't know? And here I thought you were good at figuring things out. You seem to take everything else you've encountered in Equestria within stride. You're a smart lad after all. Albeit one with a bit of blood on his brain.
The mural shattered instantly upon being hit with a spread fire of pellets. Racking another shell into the chamber of his shotgun, Nate turned around as a scowling face seethed with infuriation. Discord only smirked as he reappeared on another mural.
Way to prove my point, dear boy. I know a lot more about you than you think. After all, I chose you to come set me free.
Nate blinked as the flare of anger faded slightly, confusion taking its place as he lowered his gun. Set you free? What the hell are you talking about? His only response was laughter as Celestia fumed, storming towards the mural with a flare in her mane, her eyes illuminated with a fiery shimmer.
Stop stalling, Discord! What have you done with the elements of harmony?
Discord only rolled his eyes as he laid back on the sun in the portrait he was currently residing.
So boring, as usual.
He waved her off as he snapped his fingers, teleporting to another window.
Fine. I'll tell you, but I'll only tell you my way. Best remember this because it's quite a head-turner.
The eyes of the occupants followed the hybrid beast as he roamed from window to window, his voice now echoing throughout the chamber once more.
From one evil to another, the twists of events are of no bother. Where the elements are, no pony here knows. Or maybe, perhaps one of you does, back when you arose.
The ponies only blinked in confusion at the riddle as Discord's presence faded from the room, leaving them by themselves once more. Nate was frozen, stuck in place. Discord's declaration made him pause more so than any other revelation he discovered in his time here. Nate, the Everfree Guardian, the one who has been staining the grounds of Equestria red with the blood of invaders, the one who has been protecting ponies, unleashed this monstrous threat onto their kingdom. How? Why? The why was less concerning than the how, and quite frankly, what scared him the most was that Discord claimed he knew him personally. If that was true, how far does that knowledge go? How much of his mind has this thing riddled through? More importantly, did he know about what happened? As he was contemplating this, Twilight herself was back in a cloud of her own, her mind lost in the riddle as her eyes scanned the murals in the process. She let her thoughts work overtime in an attempt to try and guess what the embodiment of disharmony meant when he said from one evil to another. At first, she thought that maybe Discord was aware of Nightmare Moon's defeat, and hid the elements back in the castle where they were originally found. But that couldn't be right though. It matched up with that specific part of the riddle, but the rest of it didn't add up. According to him, one of them already knew where the elements were. But who?
Back when you arose.
Walking forward towards one of the broken windows, Twilight Sparkle brought a hand up to her chin as she stared out into the castle gardens.
Wait. Back when you arose? The castle gardens is where Discord's statue is being held, right? It's sat just before the maze.
The other approached the window, peeking out to the empty spot where Discord was imprisoned. Turning her eyes up to the maze itself, the star pupil pointed towards it.
The maze. Twists of events. It's where Discord has the elements hidden. I'm sure of it.
Princess Celestia nodded as she motioned to the group to turn back to her.
You have an important mission ahead of you, my little ponies. Remember that the fate of Equestria rests upon your shoulders.
She placed her hand on Twilight's shoulder, giving them all a meaningful stare. Save for Nate, who was standing off to the side looking out another window that faced towards Ponyville.
I have the utmost faith in you. Thank you, Princess. We won't let you down.
The princess released Twilight as her pupil turned and ran out of the chamber, the sextet charging towards the castle gardens to locate their greatest weapon and ends this madness swiftly. However, Nate stayed behind, still stuck in his own head as he tried to wrap his mind around how he was able to free the Lord of Chaos. Ever since he got here, he had done nothing but try and preserve Harmony, not destroy it. Ponyville had been kept safe, and by extension, other neighboring towns and villages as well. Luna had all but confirmed his actions, and yet, those same ventures cracked the walls around this beast's prison little by little. It was the picture book definition of the word Schlemiel, a good-natured person who tries to help, but only makes things worse. Glancing down at his shotgun, he felt a tinge of regret creep back into his consciousness as he took a long, slow breath. Turning and heading towards the door, Nate jogged after the girls, ignoring his inner argument for the time being. Right now, it doesn't matter if his actions cause this. All that matters is making sure Equestria sees the light of the next sunrise as well as a better tomorrow. The short journey to the castle's gardens took longer than expected. The many halls and corners needed to reach the ground level alone was enough to tire some of the mares out. But with some reinforcement from Nate, even Twilight, the one who knew him the least, was encouraged to keep going. Now running with them, rather than purposefully lagging behind, Nate took the lead as they made it outside and approached the labyrinth made of hedges. Skidding to a halt, just inside the entrance into the maze itself, Nate looked both ways before stepping back out. Right, I don't really know the first thing about this maze. Considering how big this thing is, it'll be a long while before I make it to the middle. He glanced over at Rarity. You have any fancy spells you can use with that horn? Maybe warp us through?
My magic isn't strong enough for that, darling. I just use it for the daily commodities and my work. Twilight, perhaps you have something?
The star pupil looked around at the outer border of the maze, seeing that each corner of it spanned a good few miles in either direction. They'd be hard-pressed to find any sort of entrance that can offer a straight shot to the middle.
Going through blind is a bad idea. Doing it with a villainous, all-powerful antithesis to the elements of harmony is an even worse idea.
She turned back towards her friends, her eyes trailing towards Rainbow as she pointed up to the top of the hedge maze.
Rainbow, can you fly up and tell us where we need to go to get to the elements the quickest?
Rainbow Dash gave a mock salute as she spread her wings, taking flight in a swift streak of her namesake. But her flight was cut short just as quickly as she took off, her wings disappearing in a flash of light while Fluttershy's own pair of wings, Twilight and Rarity's horns, and Nate's guns all vanished simultaneously.
Oh dear, my wings! Your horn! My horn!
Oh, fuck! Their moment of panic was soon interrupted, setting their focus back onto the task at hand as a gust of wind began briskly dragging rubble, leaves, and a variety of other objects and junk to the front of the maze's entrance. In another lingering flash of magical light, there stood Discord, imposing his presence upon the ones who seek to stop him. A loud snarling growl graced the ears of the elements, most of them cowering while Nate stood in defense with Applejack and Rainbow Dash to cover the others. They prepared for what felt like the fight of their life, only to stop when Discord suddenly began laughing as if he was told the funniest joke in the universe.
You should have seen the look on your faces! So priceless!
Twilight stomped her foot into the ground as she clenched her fists, her fear replaced with resentment as Discord disappeared with a snap, reappearing at the top of the entrance.
Give us back our wings and horns!
Oh, you'll get them back. I simply took them to ensure there's no cheating.
Cheating?
Discord's smile widened as he laid over on his side.
Yes, it's the first rule of our game. No flying, no magic, and no guns.
Nate felt a scowl return as he watched the papier-mâché fuck-up hover gently away from the hedge.
The second rule is every pony here has to play, or the game is over and I win.
He turned his eyes to Nate, giving a gleeful, toothy grin as he pointed at him.
Except for you. For setting me free, I have something special planned for you.
How did I set you free? I don't even know who you are! Discord said nothing as he snapped his fingers once more, opening a vortex portal in front of the human. Falling forward, Nate grabbed onto the concrete bricks that were stuck into the ground, feeling the pressure of being pulled back into the warp zone behind him growing stronger. Soon, not even his own strength could match it as he was ripped through.
Nate! No!
Fluttershy rushed for the portal, stopping when it disappeared in a small puff of flaking magic.
What did you do? Where'd you take him?
Another chuckle was all that came in reply as he whisked himself away, crumbling back into the junk he materialized from. Stepping back as it all clattered to the ground in front of her, Fluttershy bit her lip as she gripped the hem of her green sweater. Applejack placed a hand on her shoulder.
Keep your head on straight, Sugar Cube. It's Nate we're talking about. Whatever that creepy Discord's got in store for him, I'm sure he can handle it.
That didn't ease Fluttershy's worries, despite rejoining the group. Brave or strong, no pony could be ready for what satanic trials await them when given by madness incarnate. She could only wonder what horrible things were being done to him.
Come back here, darling. I have more outfits for you to try. I'm gonna ride you until y'all can't stand and run, Sugar. You are going to love me!
Chased by 3 naked, incredibly horny, and unbelievably crazy mares. Yeah, this was certainly not how Nate visioned the wormhole would be like. Nate dashed through the darkened space he was spat out in, rushing away from not just 3 mares, but them and then some. Copies of them bled out from the darkness, joining the chase as they came in at Nate's sides. With each passing second, the trio chasing him became a sextet, then a group, then a fucking army of sex-crazed freaks. The armada just kept growing as he continued running, the distance between him and them shortening as he began to see something up ahead. Pushing himself to his limits, he managed by some grace of God himself to slam his way out of that weird space through a wooden door and end up... I'm back in the Everfree forest?
Where are you going? You're mine! Mine!
The lunatic tone of Fluttershy's voice shot Nate's head back around to the various hands, eyes, and tits being flung his way. Grabbing the door, he slammed it closed and locked it, backing away as he grabbed a dying tree and knocked it over in front of it, preventing those copycats from getting out and having their way with him for endless eternity. Shuddering at the thought, Nate looked around as he collected his bearings. The Everfree forest, it's back to normal? He took a step forward, noticing the slight slush in the grass below him. No, the Everfree doesn't have any swampland. Not even the bog has slushed ground. Only murky waters. He cast his eyes upwards, seeing the sky was still pink. He was still in Equestria, but the question was... where? Nate glanced towards the backpack he was wearing, the shrill sheen of something glowing catching his attention. Pulling it off of him, he opened it and found both of the flasks he discovered inside, and both glowing brighter than usual. Taking out the blue one, he held it up into the air, turning to the side as he did so. The glow almost faded entirely when he did so, making him blink before turning back to the direction he was in. The illumination returned almost as quickly as it faded, its function quite clear as the human lowered it to his side. Something is here. Something the flasks are attracted to. They're acting like a compass, pointing him in the right direction. Left with little options, Nate zipped the bag back up and held the blue flask tightly, using it to not only guide him, but to light the way in this barren forest. Hopefully, he'll find some answers for both himself and for defeating Discord. I guarantee you there are some people who want to be in that dude's shoes, and they probably wouldn't run away. Crazy friggin' world out there. But let's get on to our not crazy donators. Top donators are 630, Only One Thing, Ceru Orion, and IronSky. Darkside, Rayden, Narwhals, Black Moonheart, Pastel Skies, Austin Roland, Stu Hex, Sword Brother, Mordred, Omicron, Larry, Will, Chris, Twinkie, Rides, Betas, Waffle, Shadow Moon, Luigi 88, Chancellor Crust, Big Smoke 369, Bobcat GJF, and many more awesome people. Thank you all so much for watching this video and live life to the fullest.